and then anybody else shows up.
Okay, folks, welcome to the regular council meeting. The date is Tuesday, June 16th. The time is 7:01. With that, I'll call the meeting to order. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda? Go by Councillor Broughton, by Councillor Cunliffe. Any amendments, changes?
I'd like to add an on-table item I sent to everyone a little bit earlier about the Climate Action Committee participation at the calendar day.
Put it under climate action.
No.
You have a climate action item.
Yes, it could be.
Under 8.2.1. Okay, Councillor, and that's a verbal on
No.
table.
No, I sent a report earlier. I copied council. It was late this afternoon.
I haven't checked my emails this afternoon. Is there a printed version anyway? You can give us a verbal overview.
What was
You
the
can choose a
number,
printer.
Mr. Mayor? I don't know.
Under 8.2.1,
Climate action committee.
Climate Action Committee.
Thank you.
Okay, any other items? No, all in favor with the amendment to the agenda?
Aye.
Okay, opposed, motion carried. Okay, with that, we'll go to public delegation, or sorry, public participation. Anyone in the gallery wish to speak? Anyone online? Oh, there's a hand up. Okay.
I think they all can unmute them.
Oh, sure. If you wish to speak online, you'll have to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted. Can I speak?
Yes.
Thank you.
Reuter.
Good evening, Council. It's Marcus Reuter here. My email to Council about the disenfranchisement of 61 residents by excluding them from the record of the recent public hearing is on tonight's agenda. In short, after the hearing, staff contacted some who spoke to get their street addresses, a post-operative stipulation that was not required prior to or during the hearing. This was astounding and arguably improper under BC legislation. I'm here to ask Council to ensure that the voices of these residents are respected and included in the record. The decision as to whether you accept the opinions of so many residents lies solely with each of you. It's also troubling that Anna Bartholomew's petition, signed by over 40 residents, is not on tonight's agenda. Surely the concerns raised demand Council's urgent attention. The petition made several reasonable requests concerning the protection of public safety and infrastructure. After all, Rundle Creek is identified as a hazard area in the same category as Batani. Have we not learned any lessons here? And now in a recent Watershed article, quotes the resident involved in the clear cut is saying that all the necessary professional requirements have been met. I'm just curious, has Council seen these reports to confirm they were in fact undertaken prior to the significant deforestation of such a steep slope? We've heard Councillor Abbott in several meetings now bring to everyone's attention that the existing soil and land alteration bylaw, number 510/2018, he's brought it to Council and staff's attention. To be clear, this bylaw also requires under section 12(2)(c) that provincial and federal laws be enforced. How about the riparian areas protection regulation, for instance? Yet we haven't heard or seen any signs that this bylaw has been applied in this instance. And if it hasn't, then why not? Is it surprising so recently on the heels of the Batani disaster that so many reasonable Lions Bay residents recognize a potential instance of increased risk of landslide when they see one? Council's answers to these questions are long overdue. I think it's time to get real with your constituents. Could we get some answers on these things tonight? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Reuter. Anyone else wish to speak? No?
I don't see. Okay, oh no, that's just, I'm Mr. Reuter. No, that's it.
No, okay.
Are we going to have a chance to address any of those things that Marcus has brought up?
You sure you don't want to speak with perhaps the CAO and confer and come back with a proper answer, or do you want to go off the cuff on this?
I was scribbling notes as you were speaking. The reference to the soil bylaw 518, Marcus is correct. I think that was something that we'd asked the CEO to come back with. It was a suggestion of making an amendment to that in the interim. instead of writing a full bylaw, we were gonna come back with a report.
Mr. Blackwell, do you wanna address that now, or would you like to come back on that?
Here's sort of what I would suggest. The proper forum for this sort of discussion is not at a table of council, which is a governance table. These are all technical operational matters, and the proper place to ask these questions is at the staff level. Most of the comments and concerns are completely incorrect. So rather than spend half an hour sort of walking through all these sort of issues, again, my recommendation is anyone that has a concern of this sort of nature should come and talk to staff. That's the proper venue. So with regard to the amendment question, so I sent all of council some information about that. So the bylaw as it exists now has no effect whatsoever on the activity that occurred there. The chance, I mean, council will know better than I, how frequently the lots are completely denuded. My sense is that, thank you. My sense is that lots are not denuded very often, where the landscape is white clean. So I don't get the sense that it's a pressing issue. You're gonna have, in theory, an OCP in place somewhere around the end of this year. I would anticipate, I would hope, that development permit areas will be established through that. And those development permit areas should and presumably will include hazard area development permit areas that will deal specifically, I would imagine, wildfire would be one topic area, another would be sort of steep slopes. And steep slopes, and they'll be defined over a certain grade, will have permit, they're called guidelines. Technically, they're guidelines, but they have to be followed. So are the guidelines. That will deal with all of these issues that I think you're concerned about. And that's probably the best way to deal with the issue right now.
I can understand that we 7 months away from the OC, 6 months away from the OCP, what month is it? And that doesn't mean when we get through the OCP that we're gonna have natural hazards addressed and DPAs done. Hopefully we can. But hopefully we can. But in the interim, yes, I understand that, you know, it's a one-off, but who's to say someone else doesn't want to do it tomorrow? And the interim suggestion was add a clause into the soil deposition bylaw. I thought I got some agreement that that's what you'd come back with. What does that look like? And I think, yeah, I'd still like to see that.
Okay, folks, I'm gonna move us on because I don't think this is a time to open up a new debate on this. I think it sounds like you've got some questions for our staff. You could reach out to our CAO and perhaps we can put this on the next agenda.
Okay, let's put it on the
Or
next
you
agenda.
can discuss it, okay?
Let's have it on the next agenda because I'd like to discuss it with all of council.
Okay, you can reach out to our CAO, okay? All right, with that, we'll move on. There's no other questions.
Can I ask just one other question?
I'd ask you to cut it short because this isn't time to open up debates at the public participation. Okay, we listen to the public.
Okay,
Okay, so with that, I'll move on. All right,
I thought you said I could if I kept it short. Okay,
can you keep it short?
sure.
Okay,
Simple question. The bylaw is not back on the agenda tonight. Council have all seen that letter with the 61 signatures. We can't unsee it. We all know those names, but I think it's pretty valid that we would expect that we would, when we're making our decision of what we want to do, we can't unsee those names.
okay.
The suggestion that we can doesn't make any
All right, thank you very much, Councillor Abbott. Okay, with that, we'll move on to the approval, no minutes to approve, business rising, none. Action log, page 4, any items councillors wish to pull out? Page 4. On the agenda.
Leaping ahead, item 361 is on the agenda, so it's not likely to be on the next action list.
Yeah.
So I think you could momentarily but prematurely strike it.
Any other items councilors wish to highlight?
I guess we'll have to wait till next meeting. We don't have any minutes, unfortunately, to see what was, put forward to remind us what to put on the action log. So I guess I'll pass what happened in last week until next time.
Okay,
Other than the Bible that we just discussed, the Bible revision.
And you could probably strike 381, because we're gonna address minister meetings.
Oh, yes.
okay, with that, we'll move to 7.2, the ministerial meetings. Blackwell,
Thank you. So this is further to, my earlier introduction of this matter. Time is getting very close. As you'll note, meeting set to be booked for June 24th. If council has identified any topics and or ministries that it wishes to meet with, bearing in mind it's an election year, that might sort of have an influence. Right, thank you.
Okay.
Are you going to?
I can discuss them and then we can make some amendments if we choose.
Did you want to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I received the letter from the premier asking about appointments, so within a day or two of his request, I bookmarked us for 3 appointments. I don't know whether we'll get those or not. It's a first come, first served, so I wanted to turn them around and get them booked as quickly as possible. And so my suggestion, if council would like to change those, by all means, we can put amendments in, but the deadline is the 24th, and so I put these in May 19th. So I put in 3 topics. The first was regional emergency response. That included wildfire, water filtration. The Tanny Creek disaster was number 1. I put in temporary use of the gravel
Sorry,
pit.
could you repeat that one? It seemed to be 2 subjects then.
Yes.
You just repeat this?
Botany Creek
Yeah.
disaster and wildfire filtration.
They're not, it's 2 separate items.
Well, 2 separate items, but I threw both of those down. just
Right, to talk to what ministry. are
Trying to
asking
pique their
for.
interest. What it is they ask you for your suggestion of which ministry. And so I put in both of those.
So that was for EMCR.
So that's the
Yeah,
NPR.
that's
Oh,
correct.
yeah.
And I thought the Tanny Creek, I know that the water filtration has been a prime topic and also will come to UBCM. But the Tanny Creek being obviously as impactful to our community as it was, that was also highlighted.
Okay.
If I may just point out to council that I have to submit a briefing note to each ministry that sort of sets out background, the ask. So with regard, so I need more, council and I are on the same page. I need more, as much information as to what you want to talk about and so forth, so I can prepare these briefing notes. I don't have very much time.
Okay.
Sorry.
So let me just backtrack and then I think it'll fill in. The next item was code of conduct. So there were 3 different items, 3 different ministries. Well, in the past, we've only had 1 appointment. We've been lucky enough to get 1 appointment. So the idea was get them in, and I actually put them in May 15th, within a day or 2 of receiving the letter from the premier. And then I forwarded these to our CAO. So our CAO, in conjunction with council, can build out on those 3 topics. Or if council wishes to make amendments, he can send something into the ministry and, yeah.
I like your strategy.
Councilor McLaughlin.
I like your strategy, Mayor Barry. I mean, this is Vegas. Let's cover as many spots as we can. They're gonna pick the one they want to talk about anyhow. So
Sure.
rather than put forward our best shot and they don't like it and us get deuced out, let's just go with what we got. I like what you've done. Thank you.
Okay,
Could you just tell us which, yeah,
Code of conduct,
and the third one?
code of conduct.
the gravel pit was the one,
Okay,
code of conduct and the emergency.
and which
Excellent.
particular ministries were, Three separate ministries.
three separate ministers, yeah. And I've sent those to, our CAO, so he can build out on them, or, as I say, if council wishes to make amendments or change things. But they're really just, you can see them, pass those around. They're very basic requests, and they're gonna come back to us like Councilor McLaughlin said, and hopefully we get more than one meeting. We've only had one meeting.
So gravel pit is going to what ministry? Is it MOT or
MOTT.
I put that to, Minister of Mines. Cause it's,
MOTT.
okay, well, then maybe we can change that, that falls, the gravel pit falls under the Ministry of Mines.
No, the Ministry of Mines have issued a gravel extraction permit for the extraction of gravel.
it's all the
The
same.
land is found on MOTT.
Okay, well then, why don't we change that then, or
That's no problem.
resubmit it?
You?
No,
There's you.
there's a log, if I may.
Yeah,
There's a, what's it called? It's not called this, but for log, it's a. Yeah, you have to, they have a system where you have to register. And with the ministry and the top, and so there's an online portal for this purpose.
And then the third option, the code of conduct would be with who?
Attorney General, I don't know, I'd have to.
No, housing, Ministry of Housing and Municipal Affairs.
we've met with them before.
Housing Ministerial Affairs?
If they need changing, like I said, the CAO, or I can go in there and change it.
I think these are consistent with topics that have been ongoing concerns, so I just think we should move forward.
Okay, in regard to building them out, my suggestion would be the CAO writes, normally he would do a report, and then you can put that out to us. But,
Just not, if I may on that.
yeah,
Because the time is so tight, and because we have so many other things going on over the next 2 weeks. I would really strongly encourage you guys to look at your emails or look for this week. So I can get the feedback and get it in, because I'd like to have this stuff submitted this week. We're on the 16th right now, so this week.
You only before Friday?
Ideally before Friday I'd like to enter them on Friday. Into the,
If you're gonna do it by Friday, I'll respond by Friday.
thank you.
Can you share these with us, emails?
Yeah, didn't you send these to all council?
I sent them to you, and expecting that you would distribute them if need be.
Okay, I'll prepare and circulate to all council, so you have it all, and then I'll wait for feedback. Just bear in mind that, my recommendation is you don't place too much emphasis on sort of wordsmithing these documents. This is just to give them a general sense. What really matters is your elevated pitch. When you're sitting down in front of them, and that's something that you might want to spend some time sort of rehearsing, practicing.
A strong one pager.
Yeah, so that's.
Okay, any other comments? No, okay, move on. Staff reports, the indemnification bylaw 8.1.1. We'll pass over to Blackwell.
Thank you. So this before you is another in the series of updates. This is sort of one of your strategic priorities is to update your bylaws, this indemnification bylaw, which is a bylaw that indemnifies members of council with regard to undertaking the work the council does, so long as you do it in good faith and so forth, you're shielded legally. And that's the purpose of an indemnification bylaw. The one that we have, Ventures is looking, dates to 1988, so it's a little bit,
Little out of
a
date.
little worn out. There's a few moths flying out of it. So this one is an updated one. This version is one that your corporate solicitors have just finished preparing with a bit of a boilerplate, bylaw that they recently completed for another community. I think this represents sort of the most current So the bylaw before you. I'm checking that it was actually done. Is, yes, is up for consideration of the first 3 readings.
Okay, I'll put the motion forward and then we can speak to it. The motion is that first, second, and third readings be granted to the indemnification bylaw number 666, thereby replacing indemnification bylaw number 172, 1988.
Second.
Okay. We have a mover. Mover, Councillor Connell, seconded by Councillor Broughton, discussion. Yeah, Councillor Broughton.
Well, I think consistent with our municipal advisor identifying that our bylaws were woefully out of date, which 1988. Initially, I was a bit concerned that I just was seeing this for the first time after, when I received it in the minutes in the agenda on Friday. But if it's been provided by our municipal solicitor as boilerplate essentially with other districts, I was going to suggest just 1 reading, but I think I would support the 3 readings this evening. And if I have any concerns between now and when we do final reading, then we certainly can make adjustments. But I think we need to move along. And this is boilerplate stuff. We really need to get our bylaws organized as has been identified on multiple occasions.
Okay, anyone else? Councillor Abbott?
Yeah, I was going the opposite way. I was hoping to put a motion on the table to refer it back to staff, and maybe I can do that, and I'll tell you the 2 items that I'm concerned about. I want to refer back to staff. So could I? Or should I just tell you what they are first and then ask to put a motion of referral?
I think maybe tell us what they are.
Okay, I'll be told the motion first.
Okay,
I'll put forward a motion of referral to change 2 clauses slightly. We get a second.
okay, second by Councillor Connell.
Okay, so there's 2 clauses numbered 3.4, by the way. One of them, the numbering got messed up, but so in the first instance of number 3.4, it refers to the village will not seek indemnity, and it goes on to say for cases of guilt of dishonesty, gross negligence, malicious or willful misconduct. But just in front of that, it says unless the court makes a finding. In our previous bylaw, which I get was 40 years old, but stood the test of time, one might argue, that decision didn't require a court finding. And I find that somewhat problematic because the courts don't necessarily make those rules. So I would think it's better if we struck unless the court makes a finding out of that. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to enforce. That's my first referral I'd like to see go back. And then my second one is I'd like to strike the second 3.4. I'm not sure we need that, and I think these are issues that should come to council.
Okay, any other speakers? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Councillor Broughton.
Could these changes be entertained prior to the final reading? Consistent with what I just said, in terms of passing the first through the chair to the CAO?
Mr. Blackwell?
Yes. The second 3.4B is solely at council discretion. It's in there for efficiency reasons. This is the only purpose, but it's neither here nor there whether it's in there. The 3.4A, if you will, my recommendation is this was crafted by a municipal solicitor. I would not want to say anything that would conflict with what they recommend. So I can do one of 2 things. We can get the solicitor at a later date to appear and explain the stuff, or I can have them describe this via email. Probably the same cost, whichever you prefer.
Okay, well, that's why I put it as a motion to refer back to staff. I assumed you had to go back to the solicitor.
Yes,
So-
but it's either whether to come back with either information as an email, or does council want to see it, have the solicitor presented?
I think we can have the solicitor present the first 3.4, and if we agree to strike the second one, that's fine. Okay,
Any other comments? No, call a question, all in favor?
yes,
Neville's,
oh, yeah,
Neville's, yeah.
yeah, sure.
yes.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, so we don't have to entertain the readings or?
No, you're entitled to do whatever you wish, grant all three, it's on the table right now for council's consideration. Or,
We just passed a motion to refer it back.
yeah, that's true, sorry, yes.
Yeah, we just passed a motion to refer it back.
So that
That's it.
cancels out
That's
first.
correct, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Council Broughton?
No, I'm just wondering if we can start moving forward with some of these bylaws, rather than referring them back. And, you know, I think if there's an issue, that if we can at least get it moving forward in a positive direction. And if there's corrections that need to be made, you know, we all fully support doing so. But to keep referring things back, I think is very time consuming and not necessary.
Okay, no other comments. We'll move on to bylaw number 8.1.2, bylaw department financial results. Okay, Mr. Cherkoff.
Oh, yeah, this is for information at the request of Councillor Buckman. That has the full 5 years of financial information for the department from revenue to expenses. It includes visitor counts. We have currently transitioned in October of 2024 to Pay by Phone, and they have very good back-end data on each specific parking area about customer counts, how they pay, and what have you. From Precise Link, which was badged that previously, and through their app Flowbird, we don't have access to that information. It was confirmed to us that they don't keep records for more than a year. But I have been able to kind of backtrack and estimate the visitor counts based on what an average ticket price is. And so there's a little graph in there kind of showing in 2020, there's almost no activity, of course, but then 2021, 22, 23, 24. So just, I think in 2025, we had an estimated 25,000 people that purchased a 2-hour parking pass in the village. Yeah, so that's the report. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. It's all kind of risk-free numbers for.
Councilor McLaughlin.
Thank you very much for the detailed report, Financial Officer Cherkoff. I'll call you. My questions are so minor that I won't waste everybody's time. Thank you for the great job.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Broughton, then we'll go to Councilor Abbott.
We're showing something in the neighborhood of $126,000 average surplus based on the income from fines and so on over the cost of bylaw enforcement. Is there any reflection in here of the actual office staff time to follow up on the non-payment and that type of thing?
Yeah, so disputes, typically, that's a very good question, and something that
I thought it was.
Yeah, congratulations. No, there is a significant amount of time, with bylaw disputes that we go through adjudication through North Vancouver.
Yes.
That falls into the purview of our deputy corporate officer, Chris McKenna. She works closely with bylaw, but her time is not reflected in the bylaw.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Could I follow up? We had discussed the fact that the fine structure that we had put in place, I believe, was established during COVID. And it seems to be an outlier within the Lower Mainland. our fines are quite high, and that is causing issues in terms of payment and all sorts of other kinds of issues. My understanding was that we were going to review the actual fine structure and look at whether it would make more sense to be, you know, more closer to the average in Lower Mainland. So that's a separate discussion, not the council, I think should be looking at. But I think we had issues of staff security because people were so upset because of receiving $195 fine. We had, a whole number of different of things that were in terms of perception of the community as being kind of one horse entrapment and type of concerns. Whether that's true or not is, I don't believe that is accurate, but I think that we need to look carefully at the purpose of the fines, the amount of the fines, how effective that is, and I think that it really is important for council to review that.
Okay, Councillor Abbott.
First like to just remind Councillor Broughton that we did discuss what you're talking about at council. The council decided not to change the fines. So I think we should just move on. The decision's been made and I need to bring it up again. Going back to this report, Joe, you added in 6 years, not 5. And if you take the 5 years, it's 135,000, not 125, slightly different. I'm glad you explained the basis for the counts because I was wondering how you'd done that. And it would be interesting to correlate that with the trail counts.
Yes.
Which the director of operations is gathering for a different topic. But it means you've got to work out how you take out residents. But we can discuss that. So that would be an interesting thing to correlate. The other question, and I'm not asking you to do this because it might be more work, but I just want an opinion on what you think is. How much work is it to try to do this by area? How? Because we have three areas where we have these issues, 4 actually. If you count Kelvin Grove and Brunswick Beach, 2 big ones are Lions Bay Avenue and up here that are probably generating, and the trailhead, that are probably generating most of this. They're 2 very different issues with the opposite, very different solutions. So I was wondering, is it simple to be able to try to extract, or is it even possible to extract where these fees and fines occurred, whether they occurred on sort of Bayview up to the trailhead versus Lions Bay Avenue?
With pay by phone, I can extract to the millimeter where the fine was initiated. This is a very good data extraction tool that they have in place in their back-end office. So I look forward to providing a lot more.
But you can't back that up to previous years.
No, not the problem.
That's okay, that's fine. Okay, so in future, we can actually give it a granularity on
Yeah,
that?
no, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
No, okay, we'll move on to 8.1.3. Central Village Public Toilets, and Mr. Villeneuve, if you'd like to join us and give us a little background. That's on page 15 of your agenda.
Thank you, Mayor Barry, and good evening, council. As my report in the minutes or the agenda package indicates, I'm seeking direction on how to proceed with regrading of the area near the map kiosk. This opportunity came up as part of the all zone metering project. There's ongoing work right now to install the conduits to electrify the PRVs down by Highway Tank. So regrading will have to occur anyway to resurface that area at the end of next week when the work's done. What this provides us is an opportunity to regrade to create an area that, like a flatter area that porta potties could sit on. So the work is fully funded by the metering project. This is slight regrading, would all be covered by that project, the civil work. This item has been discussed for quite some time, I understand, with this council, where to put some public toilets in the center of town. This location is central, it's very visible, it's accessible, and it'd be near Village Hall. So if people come often to reception to ask where to use some public toilets, it'd be very easy to point them in this direction. So the proposal is to regrade this area, add 4 porta potties, 2 short-term, like 5-minute parking stalls for people to use the porta potties, and rental of the porta potties themselves, which are about $300 each per month. That's the rental fee and cleaning fees, and a one-time about a $600 delivery fee. Yeah, so just seeking direction tonight on how to proceed with this proposal.
Okay, Councilor McLaughlin.
Thank you very much. I put forward the motion to direct staff to proceed with the option identified in this excellently written and presented report.
Okay, do we have a second? Councilor Bowden, discussion. Councilor Bowden.
That area, I think, has been considered in the past for possible fast charging. But but I don't think this would be, if in the future we move towards that. I mean, that you're not building structures or anything like that, so in fact, it would be even better prepared. For that.
Power poles right
Who knows
beside it.
if that's gonna happen.
Power poles right beside it.
Sorry?
Power poles right beside it.
Yeah. So, that may be work, well done towards that. So anyway, I'm supporting the motion and, to this noting that it doesn't preclude anything from happening in the future as well. So it's great.
Okay, any other comments? Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, similar thoughts. We're not approving porta potties, right? We're approving grading the area such that it is flat. Is that what the ask is?
Through the chair, the ask is direction on how to grade that area with the anticipation of porta potties going in there.
If I could just add one piece.
Yeah,
So
that's
the
all.
porta potty issue came up earlier.
Right.
I can't remember if that was last summer or the summer, lost track of time. And Mr. Burr and I were talking about another location in the village. There are big problems at another location, so that's why this matters for council now. Here's a sort of a unanticipated sort of option for council to consider. If not here, then it's really a question of where.
Okay,
so-
Councilor Abbott?
So I'll just going somewhere along the lines with Councillor Bratton, as I'm not sure the porta potty level area you would create would actually be capable of providing a charging station. Having a different footprint. So I don't think necessarily the one would create the other.
It wouldn't preclude it from happening.
Preclude it from happening.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think creating a level area for one or other possibility would make sense. Personally, more porta potties in the village. I got a problem with more and more, especially visual ones like this. So I don't know that I'm ready to agree with that solution being porta potties, but preparing the ground in the eventuality that's what we decide to do, on creating a level spot which may potentially be used for a parking or something else, I think it's probably a good idea. But that's why I asked, are we approving porta potties tonight, or are we approving the regrading? Because I think they're possibly two different questions.
Are we keeping the information sign in that area?
Yeah, the proposal is not to touch the sign. It'll be above, to the east of the sign is the location of the porta potties.
Okay,
Or the flat area.
Councilor McLaughlin?
Thank you, Mayor Barry. When I read the direct options, it said to proceed with the options plural, which included porta potties.
Okay. All right, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is the 8.2.1, Councilor Abbott, Climate Action Committee, got a on table item.
Yeah, and apologies, we sent, it's gone back and forth with staff since early this morning. And it is an emergent issue, that's why, it's here. I was hoping there would be copies for everyone, but you were sending the email late in the afternoon.
Maybe you can
Do
read
you
it.
want to take a minute, does everyone want to take a minute to read it, or should I just read it? It's a page and a half.
Why don't you read it?
All right. Okay, I'll just read my report then. Okay, so the recommendation is council approve the promotion of the community recycling depot by the Climate Action Committee at Canada Day event 2026. The background, CEO Blackwell has advised that the Climate Action Committee cannot participate in Canada Day event without a resolution of council. At the regular council meeting of June 2nd, the CAC draft minutes from May 26 were presented with several action items. 3 action items were considered to require council resolution and dealt with in the meeting. In the email correspondence with staff, other items did not require resolutions and did not get discussed in the meeting. The following item extracted from the minutes was not identified by the CAC chair or staff as requiring a resolution and therefore was not discussed. I'll read the action item from the minutes verbatim. 9.3 CAC table at Canada Day celebration. The events committee has invited the CAC to host a table at Canada Day event to promote the CAC and their initiatives. The events committee is also looking for volunteers for Canada Day event. Goal to get more awareness around the community recycling depot. The discussion was had, this is at the Climate Action Committee, was that it's typically less engagement than at the bird friendly and other events. There's loud music. It's not always the best location because there's loud music and people move on to the party. However, the action item of the committee, after considering all of that, the committee's action item was Andrew Ray and Greg Woolley will create the same event, the same setup as it was using the bird friendly for a few hours before the music starts. So just for information, it was a little test your knowledge, what goes where game was kind of set up, and people could take something out of a box and decide whether it goes curbside, CRD, north van, or garbage, and that's what it was. That's the suggestion. Then the last part of my report, the discussion item, given educational actions such as these are a requirement for the BC recycling program, and are within the terms of reference for the CAC. This is an unexpected procedural issue that should extend to other groups and would be better resolved in a policy in the future. However, for now, approval of this resolution will resolve the emergent time-bound issue. And I have to drink some water. The recommendation was council pass the motion read at the beginning of the report.
Okay, Mr. Blackwell, and then we'll go to Councillor Broughton, Councillor Cunliffe.
I just wanted to share some governance considerations, whatever you choose to do. So I just want to remind council that advisory committees have roles that's set out in the community charter. And it's specifically limited to providing advice to council. There's no provision that allows for it to be an advocate on behalf of the municipality, et cetera, et cetera. These are not paid employees, they're volunteers, which means that council has no control over what is said on any given committee or what is not said. Draw a line of it's highly improper for committee members to be speaking on behalf of the organization. Their role is limited one way, to providing advice to council. And so the suggestion I made to Councillor Abbott was a slightly different resolution that was something to do with the effect that council to direct staff to provide this information at a municipal information table at the event or otherwise circulate this type of information. That's how this and every committee is supposed to work. They're not supposed to be a parallel arm of operations of a municipality. This sort of work is operational staff work. It's not for volunteer members of appointed volunteer members. So although I think sort of the idea of getting this information out is laudable without question, the intent is fantastic. I just want to remind council yet again that you have to keep between the lines on these issues. Just because it's convenient to steer off out of the lane, you got to avoid it. If you want to honor what you say is good governance, that you gotta keep to the script. You can't allow committees to take on roles and work that they should not be doing just because you feel that there's the work they're wanting to do is laudable. And it may well be, I'm not sort of weighing in on that, other than to say I think it's fantastic. It's just that you can't use committees for its purpose. So whatever you choose to do is whatever you choose to do.
Councilor Broughton and then Councilor Fennell.
I really support the Climate Action Committee and the recycling initiatives that are being taken. I think that this has moved quite a ways forward, based on past practice. So, for this year, I would support it going ahead. I'd like to point out, though, that we've now dealt with similar kind of situations 2 or 3 times in the last number of months, where council is kind of doing catch up on some of these things. So I think we need to turn our attention to this in a bigger way. But for Canada Day, I think there's a whole series of booths that are set up. I think this is a very positive, community-based group. I want to respect the CAO's concerns, but as I said, I think this has moved quite a ways forward, and that we should support it for 2026 at least.
Okay, Councilor Fennell.
Similar to Michael's point, we're a little bit late in the game. I think we're all operating under the assumption that this was something we could do. Had we had this information months ago, I think we might make a different decision. I don't think it would be fair to throw on to staff right now that council directs them to spend Canada Day here talking about a recycling initiative. Moving forward, I could see a different approach, and maybe the Climate Action Committee would have decided that this might not be the event and might be another opportunity that may be better. But we have a volunteer who put a lot of time and effort into this, who's volunteering to be there on his birthday. So I think we go ahead this year, but obviously revisit what your concerns are and move forward differently.
Okay, I think we're probably all on the same page on this. We all believe that our policies and bylaws need to be updated, and we need to bring our governance into line with best practices. And we want to try to minimize the parallel arm or shadow governments, so to speak. So I think with that in mind, as we move forward, hopefully as a group here in the later part of our term, we can put a few of these bylaws and policies behind us and bring the village up to date. So with that, is there any other comments, Councillor Abbott?
Yeah, just a couple of comments. I will respond to your shadow government mention there. I'll just ignore that one. Thank you. Disrespectful. The reason I didn't share it with the CEO, the reason why I wouldn't want to recommend staff doing it is there's an overtime issue. We already have fiscal pressures. So that's not something I was comfortable putting forward. It's an innocent game. There's no direction given to resident as to anything other than that. Just test your knowledge. Where does plastic go? And I just want to also point out that and I did look at the community charter, section 142. There's not a lot there. It doesn't say any of these things. So I don't really think we're going out of bounds, and I would like to think in terms of reference of the CAC would govern. But yeah, at a future stage we can revisit all committees' terms and references. If that's what council feel we need to do. But for now, I just hope you can all just approve this so we can go ahead this year.
Okay, I'll call a question. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Question?
Yeah, Councillor or Mr. Blackwell.
If I'd like to possibly get feedback if council is so minded. So this is actually a big issue in local government, is the misuse and inappropriate use of committees. This is a problem in Lions Bay with all your committees. They're not used properly. So I've given advice many times, it's ignored. So would there be council value me getting a letter from your solicitor that sets up in the clearest terms what is onside and what is offside for committees, so that you have your lawyer would give you that direction. And then any subsequent council can also take advantage of that legal opinion, so just ask for direction on whether they want.
Councillor Conlon.
I think that might be a good idea because spirit of volunteerism in Lions Bay is deep rooted and it is the Lions Bay way. Now, we realize that it is 2026 and it's not 1976 anymore, and we do need to evolve out of these things. But to be the bearer of bad news to somebody who has spent 30, 40 years volunteering, to suddenly be thrown a roadblock that has never been brought to their attention before and they may not understand while we're still wrapping our head around it, it would be, I think, prudent to have something to present and say, this isn't council, this is legislation, and we are here to just kind of modernize the way the governance works in Lions Bay.
Do you want to move that, Councillor Conlon?
Sure.
Okay, we have a mover. Do we have a second? All right, I'll second that. But Councillor Broughton?
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
second that.
Councillor Broughton, discussion.
I would like to. Who's
Okay,
going first?
Councillor Abbott.
Respectfully, I completely disagree with doing this. Here's why. Yes, Lions Bay is a small community. We have a huge history of volunteerism. Up until this council term, our emergency planning coordinator was a volunteer. Our ESS director was a volunteer, unpaid. We've had volunteer fire chiefs for years. And I know we've moved away from this, but I don't think we should keep eroding that volunteerism. As long as we're not doing anything that's going to get us in legal trouble and these committees do nothing other than bring recommendations to council, there's no instance where they've done anything else, but they do get far more involved than happens in other communities. The infrastructure committee provides technical advice to the public works department that would cost money to get anywhere else. These people are willing to do this. They've done it for decades. We need to value that and continue to use it, and to go to some sort of rule or recommendation from our lawyers or anyone else that's based on how other bigger cities do it, I think is fundamentally the wrong thing to do. We need to look at how we behave and then decide how we can craft our terms of reference and our rules to support what residents want to do, not the other way around. I'm against this.
Councillor Cunliffe, and then we'll go to
I
Councillor McLaughlin.
I just
and then
for
Councillor Broughton.
clarification, maybe I misread, but I understood the CAO to say that committees act as advisory boards, so we're not discussing dissolving existing committees, such as the infrastructure committee. I think they're incredibly valuable and a resource that many other communities don't have available to them. I think what I'm hearing is that when it comes to, if the infrastructure committee was gonna set up a booth at Canada Day and start giving advice to the neighborhood on,
How to plumb your water.
and,
system.
you know, instead of staff doing that, I mean, we got the information on how to get rid of fats and oils in our sinks. That's coming from staff, not coming from the infrastructure committee. So that's the only, like, maybe I'm mistaken of what you were trying to say. But I do think that it would be advisable for my own understanding to have somebody come in and really hammer it out so it's crystal
I'm
clear.
gonna, Mr. Blackwell can comment, and then I'll go to Councillor McLaughlin, and then Councillor Broughton.
Thank you through you to Councillor Cunliffe. Yeah, I want to be clear about the distinction. I don't want to conflate volunteerism with committees of council that are duly appointed pursuant to the community charter. Those are two separate things. Volunteerism in this in every community is hugely valuable, and it's sort of the gas for the engine of Lions Bay. There are essentially no limitations with regard to how volunteers interact and participate in promoting and evolving sort of the livability of Lions Bay. Totally different topic than legislatively enacted committees of council, whose role is simply advisory. There's a lot that needs to be changed. I would suggest if you are wanting to fulfill what you said you wanted to do, which is your strategic priorities, one of those areas was around good governance, Something that I've noticed, which is very unusual, that you appoint a chair to a committee and that it doesn't change all term. That's unusual. Because there's fresh ideas, fresh blood, so it's good to turn over chairs. So there's lots of things that council could consider with regard to this. What I'm referring to is making sure that when council utilizes its advisory bodies, it does so in accordance with standard practice and pursuant to the provisions of the community charter. That's all I'm saying. And that way you're consistent, you're pursuing the goals of good governance, and you're not sort of taking liberties with the rules to suit the occasion or the certain priorities relative to any given issue.
Okay, Councilor McLaughlin?
Thank you very much, Mayor Barry. A bit of a conundrum for me. I appreciate what Councillor Cunliffe is trying to say. I also agree with everything Councillor Abbott had to say. I think that we've already made the primary decision on what's going to happen on Canada Day. I don't feel we need to go to a bonus round on this. I'd actually would be voting against this and hope that if we wanted to have a further talk, it'd come to a committee of the whole.
I would withdraw my motion to be in favor of further discussion at a committee of the whole.
Okay, Councilor Barton, you had your hand up?
Well, I support withdrawal from the motion
Okay.
to committee of the whole. I think that's fine.
Good, okay. We'll go back to the original motion. That was Councilor Abbott. You want to read your motion?
We voted on it.
We already voted.
We voted and passed
Ah.
it, and then
This
it's the own
This is
decision.
this is Councillor Cunliffe's one, which you're going to call will pass, and then I'll suggest we go to a COTW.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, next item is the watercrafts, 8.3.2, and Councilor McLaughlin.
Thank you very much. I'll be very quick. Everybody's had a chance to read the report. 1 minute, and then if there's questions, we'll do that, and we can go through the motion piece. May the fifth council unanimously approve that Councilor McLaughlin be given the lead and choose the study group to bring recommendations to council. This report provides information. The recommendation provides an immediately executable short-term solution. To ensure the basis is correct, in response to a release of personal information to the author sent by the office to the registered rack owners, 20 families responded. What came out of it was that there were multiple watercrafts per family. This was common, but on balance, there was a sufficient number who responded to me that this group can reasonably represent all users. On their own, the CAO and Director of Operations recently undertook site inspections with a view to supporting the initiative to explore viable options related to watercraft storage within the community. This was very creatively done in my view. They examined a wide number of potential locations. Their suggestions are worthy of consideration by the watercraft users and the local residential communities where the different user sites are contemplated. So far, time has not permitted this. To the discussion piece, it is inefficient to begin construction of any racks at any location until the user grab an alternate site from a central beach. Local residents have been engaged. The most inexpensive means of construction of new facilities is to use public works during the off-season. They have no capacity at this time. The practical solution is to carry over the subject to the post-summer season. Between now and then, we provide a facility for the watercraft users on a temporary basis. If there's any questions, otherwise I'll go to the motion and we can work it out through there.
Okay, any questions? Councilor Broughton?
You indicated there was a sufficient number responded and that a sufficient number offered to be on the study group. On what is sufficient?
20.
Half.
About half, okay,
I may have to choose not to respond.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, now, in discussion, the people who had written letters, earlier on, were some of those involved in this group, or excellent, okay.
Many.
That's great, okay, terrific. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councilor McLaughlin, you have a motion?
I'll read it, and I think there are 10 points, and I'll go through it one by one. But first, the chain link fence on the upper grass field be made available to store watercraft. It may be placed horizontally or side by side on the ground. I'll put that forward. Can I have a second? My discussion piece on this is that the upper field, the mesh fence is extremely strong and it could take the boards who might wave. I'm thinking boards largely, I can't imagine a kayak going vertical. But they weigh somewhere between 40 and 50 pounds, some of them. So there's enough strength. If some folks wanted to put it vertically, they could. If they wanted to lie them in layers on the bottom, the key piece here is that they bring their own security, such as their own chain or their bicycle attachments that they can use to attach their own craft. This would be one of the two sites. Are there any questions?
Okay, we have a seconder for that? A seconder?
I've got a second.
Yeah,
Councilor Cunliffe, okay. All in favor?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we need to,
Councilor Cunliffe or Councilor Broughton?
are we gonna do these all 10 one at a time?
We're doing it one at a time.
Okay, I'm gonna call the question one more time. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Yeah, motion carried.
Thank you. The next one is the wooden fence down the side of the south side of the beach park behind the washroom be made available for water storage side by side on the ground. I'll put that forward as a motion. May I have a second? Thank
Okay,
you.
moved by Councilor McLaughlin, second by Councilor Cunliffe.
The discussion on this that I can add is that the wooden fence does not have the structural integrity that the chain link fence. Some sections are strong, others are not. Item number 3, which I'll address, provides info.
Okay, any other comments?
Then for me,
Call the question, all in favor?
aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Third, the public works provide eye bolts the length of the wooden fence, and this would be to facilitate the security aspect that the craft owners will be asked to provide. I'll put that forward as motion.
Okay,
I'll
second
second it. I
second
have
by
a
Councilor
question.
Abbott. Okay,
A
Councilor Abbott.
question I was trying to understand this one. Eye bolts, I think, typo, it's EYE bolts. Not eye bolts, but anyway, they're gonna be fixed by public works to what?
Fence.
Fence posts.
So you got your bolt, you put your chain through it.
You're gonna put those in the fence posts.
No, through the length of there's a post and then there's the 1x6 piece.
I don't understand that.
Mr. Villeneuve,
Do you understand it?
you understand that?
Enough structure there to bolt into?
Yeah, it's through the chair, like a 1/4-inch eye bolt
Yeah.
we drilled in and
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, I apologize for the spelling Bible.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, the users provide their own safety measures on their watercraft using the chain link fence or the eye bolts to secure their watercraft. Self-explanatory.
Yes.
Forward, second.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Item number 5, it is not contemplated to store non-resident watercraft.
Okay, second. No, okay, Council, yeah,
It's not a resolution.
That's just a statement.
It's a statement. I don't know how staff could do anything with that.
The
So
rest,
you might want to sort of just develop that a little bit more.
hey, Councilor McLaughlin, any other wording you wish to put forward in that?
Resident watercraft only would be provided.
resident watercraft.
Only be permitted.
Resident watercraft storage will only be provided.
Permitted.
So if,
And a second,
through the chair, can I make a suggestion? I don't know that you need that statement, because number 9, you've got, you're gonna provide decals and only residents be able to get decals. Right?
Right.
So
Could strike that
I
entirely.
think you can strike that because you have it
It's
covered.
a piece of information.
thank you for the friendly amendment. I'll strike number 5, if that's fine.
All right.
Barry.
Yeah.
Item 6,
Item 6, notification sent in the village update of where resident-owned watercraft can be placed in the beach park and reference to item 8.
okay, seconder. Second by Councilor Cunliffe, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
This 2026 decals are provided mailed by staff to all those who responded to Councillor McLaughlin.
Okay, second.
Thank you.
Second by Councillor Conlon, all in favor?
Sorry, just one question on that. Are you limiting it to those people? What if someone else
Just
gets one?
a little bit of information for discussion. Of the 23 or so who responded to me, there were 10 who were active. Well, actually, we're gonna exempt them. They're gonna get the decals first. We're gonna put them in the mail. We know who they are, they're residents. The next, we don't know who is left that still have watercraft, want to come to the park. Maybe they've moved or just left the thing dead, so they're gonna have to come to the office.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. The balance of watercraft users on our database are asked to come to the village office to pick up their 2026 decal. That's done.
Yeah, that's a good-
Mr. Blackwell,
If I can be permitted to sort of change that to a resolution after the fact with the same intent, I would be happy to do so. Unless you wanna do it here
do you
now,
want to change that? Sorry.
to do it on the fly. Yeah, I would just simply, the resolution should say, something like, I don't know, no, I'm doing this on the fly, new watercraft users, must,
We're talking about the balance of the existing folks that were on our
In the
database.
database.
right, but you're not gonna limit it to that, it's anybody that wants it presumably, or you gotta say.
Well, as a discussion point, one or two of the watercraft users wanted to limit the number of craft at the beach, which I really don't have an idea what number we're talking about yet. I mean, are we talking 40 or 60 or what combo? I don't know. So I'm thinking that if we have our existing database come in, we'll at least, there's our number.
So,
I'm not restricting them.
if I may,
Yeah, Mr. Blackwell.
to make sure that these are viable resolutions, they have to be understood from the beginning to end. 5 or 10 years later. So the questions I would have here are what database? What's the year of the database? So all that information needs to be included in a resolution. So
Okay,
it's the
the
same.
balance of the watercraft users on our 2026 database are asked to come to the village office to pick up their 2026.
Watercraft database,
Yes,
because we have lots of databases.
the watercraft database.
Okay, we have a mover and a seconder, all in favor?
And-
Opposed, motion carried. Next item.
I non-decaled watercraft will be moved by Public Works.
Okay, mover and a seconder, second by Councillor Conlon, all in favor?
On this, just to post discussion, speaking with Shauna today. At their staff meeting tomorrow, she's got a copy of this, she'll get the green light to order the decals and they'll be here in 2 weeks and out to the population. The last one,
Okay, all in favor of that?
right, well, it's just intro. Last one for 2026 watercraft rack fees are waived, I'll put that forward.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Quick. Thank you.
Opposed, motion carried.
David. Thank you, Mary Berry.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll move to correspondence.
Sorry, I just noticed you missed one thing on the agenda, the IC minutes. Draft minutes were on the agenda.
Yeah, for information, any comments or?
I don't, yeah, I didn't, I don't have anything, there's no recommendations. I think staff just put it on because they had it.
Okay, good enough.
So
All
if
right, back
there's any
to,
questions, I'll take on.
okay, back to correspondence. Councillor Conlon.
So for correspondence, we have, for the most part, received the outside of, we've got a metro, talk about solid waste, doesn't affect us. We heard from former Councillor Reuter this evening, and we're moving his concerns to a discussion at the committee of the whole, or version of. We had a request from the McLaughlin family to incorporate some more ideas about a similar topic to former Councillor Reuter's concerns into the OCP, which we will relay to them. And then we had a interesting suggestion from Charlie Bradbury to look at implementing a category for Youth Citizen of the Year. And I guess by default, if appropriate, Citizen of Distinction, which I would please ask staff to put that maybe on a committee of the whole for discussion. And other than that, if anybody else has any comments they'd like to make on correspondence, see.
Okay, any other comments from councilors? No, okay.
Yeah, just one comment, okay, it's fine, okay, ex-councillor, sorry, Reuters, last statement about the OC bylaw, number 612 is the current one. And I think it's important we all make sure we start referring to bylaw 612. And can I ask staff to simply remove the old bylaw? There's no reason to have two OCP bylaws when one is being superseded.
Okay, Mr. Blackwell.
So we tried to figure out why that happened, and I think it was to do with some staff changes. So that now has been, the older one has been removed and new one, the current one has been put up on the website in place.
612, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments?
I'd invite you just to double check that.
Any new business by the councilors? Okay, we'll move into the closed portion of the meeting. Do we have a motion to move into closed? So moved by Council Broughton, seconded
Second.
by Councilor Abbott. All in favor? Opposed,
Yes.
motion carried. All right, so if you'll, all right, thank you.
You can move them into